Follow me, because by the end of this video, you'll wonder how you spent all this time without knowing this important information. Frozen vegetables are like the unsung heroes of your kitchen, waiting to save the day while most people overlook their incredible benefits. You've probably walked past them in the grocery store, or hesitated to freeze your fresh veggies at home. But let me tell you, freezing vegetables is more than just a convenience. It's a strategy for better health, less waste, and even more flavorful meals. Let's start with a surprising fact. Freezing vegetables at their peak ripeness actually locks in their nutrients. Contrary to the myth that fresh produce is always better, studies show that frozen vegetables can sometimes be even more nutritious than fresh ones that have been sitting in your fridge for days. Why? Because vegetables intended for freezing are picked at their prime and flash frozen immediately, preserving key vitamins like vitamin C and folate. Fresh veggies, on the other hand, lose nutrients the longer they sit around after being harvested. But it's not just about nutrition. Freezing vegetables is also one of the easiest ways to reduce food waste. We've all been guilty of buying fresh produce with the best intentions, only to find it wilted and forgotten in the crisper drawer. Freezing extends the life of your veggies, giving you more time to use them without the guilt of throwing away spoiled food. Did you know that the average household wastes over 30% of the fresh produce they buy? Freezing could cut that number in half, saving you money and helping the planet. Another major advantage is the sheer convenience. Frozen vegetables are pre-washed, pre-chopped, and ready to cook. Whether you're making a quick stir-fry, a hearty soup, or a green smoothie, having frozen veggies on hand eliminates prep time. And if you're freezing vegetables at home, you can customize your portions, making meal prep even easier. Now, let's talk about flavor. Many people assume frozen vegetables are bland or mushy, but that's often because they're cooked improperly. The secret to keeping their flavor and texture intact is simple: don't overcook them. Use methods like steaming, roasting, or quick stir-frying, and you'll be amazed at how vibrant and delicious they can be. Freezing vegetables also opens up a world of culinary possibilities. Imagine having garden-fresh herbs and vegetables at your fingertips all year round. Basil for your pasta, spinach for your smoothies, or bell peppers for your fajitas. Freezing allows you to enjoy seasonal produce anytime, even when it's out of season at the store. But how do you freeze vegetables the right way? Here's a quick tip: blanch them first. Blanching involves boiling vegetables briefly, then plunging them into ice water to stop the cooking process. This step helps preserve their color, texture, and flavor while killing off bacteria that could spoil them. Once blanched, dry the vegetables thoroughly, spread them out on a baking sheet to freeze individually, and then store them in airtight containers or freezer bags. Let's not forget about cost. Frozen vegetables are often more affordable than their fresh counterparts, especially if you're buying in bulk or stocking up during a sale. And if you're freezing veggies from your own garden, you're turning pennies into priceless convenience. Still not convinced? Here are some stats to chew on. According to a report by the American Frozen Food Institute, households that incorporate frozen vegetables into their meals save an average of $500 per year on groceries. And a study from the University of Georgia found that 90% of the nutrients in most vegetables are retained even after being frozen for up to a year. Freezing vegetables isn't just for families or busy professionals, it's for anyone who values time, money, and health. Even if you live alone or rarely cook, having frozen veggies on hand can inspire you to whip up something healthy and delicious without much effort. A common question people ask is, doesn't freezing ruin the texture? While it's true that some vegetables like lettuce or cucumbers don't freeze well, many others think broccoli, carrots, peas, and green beans maintain their texture beautifully when properly blanched and frozen. Before we wrap up, let's bust one more myth. Frozen vegetables aren't just for cooking. You can toss them into smoothies. Frozen spinach, anyone? Use them in cold pasta salads, or even snack on them straight from the freezer. Frozen grapes, or edamame, for example, make fantastic, refreshing treats. So what's stopping you from giving this a try? Start small. Freeze your leftover veggies at home, or pick up a bag of high-quality frozen produce on your next grocery run. Experiment with new recipes and enjoy the convenience, savings, and health benefits that come with it. If you found this information helpful, make sure to like this video. Why you should freeze vegetables. 99% of people don't know. Watch the video until the end, because by the time it's over, you'll wonder how you've spent all this time without knowing these important tips. Label your containers. Always write the date when you freeze vegetables to avoid forgetting how long they've been stored. Freeze in portions. Divide vegetables into small portions before freezing to prevent defrosting everything at once. Blanch vegetables first. Blanching helps preserve flavor, color, and nutrients before freezing. Cool quickly after blanching. Place blanched vegetables in ice water immediately to stop the cooking process. Use vacuum sealing. This minimizes air exposure and prevents freezer burn. Don't overfill your freezer. Leave space for air circulation to keep vegetables frozen evenly. Freeze vegetables at their peak freshness. Choose ripe, unspoiled produce for the best results. Dry vegetables before freezing. Excess moisture can cause freezer burn or clumping. Use freezer-safe bags. Regular bags can allow air to enter and cause spoilage. Remove air from bags. Press out as much air as possible before sealing the bag. Freeze flat. Lay bags flat in the freezer to save space and make thawing quicker. Group similar vegetables. Organize your freezer by type to make finding items easier. Use frozen vegetables in soups. They're perfect for adding flavor without thawing. Don't refreeze thawed vegetables. It compromises their texture and flavor. Mark expiration dates. Most frozen vegetables stay good for 8-12 months. Keep your freezer at 0°F18°C. This is the optimal temperature for long-term storage. Stagger freezing batches. Freeze in small amounts at a time to avoid overworking your freezer. Reuse scraps for broth. Freeze vegetable scraps to make homemade stock. Check for signs of spoilage. If frozen vegetables are discolored or smell bad, discard them. Freeze cooked vegetables. This works well for leftovers like roasted or steamed veggies. These simple tricks will make freezing vegetables easier and help you enjoy fresh flavors all year round.